Live. It sounded redundant. Happy Friday. We're live on A2HH Live. What's up, Coop, man? Got Coop in the building. Mike D over here. How's it going, sir?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Had a lot to listen to today, man. AZ finally dropped Do or Die 2. We were all excited about that with the features that we saw and the track list that we saw and the production we saw. After Common's freestyle yesterday, he kind of got everybody amped up for his new album, What Beautiful Revolution, Volume 2. And Baby Kim came out as well. So it was a lot going on. The BET dropped their BET Hip-Hop Award nominees out there. We're going to get to all of it, man. But first of all, man, you know what? I think we should start with the Common album.
Okay, is that where we start?
We'll start with the Common album. We'll let people get into the room too. And then we'll go into the AZ, Do or Die 2, which I thought was an exceptional effort, and we're definitely going to get to that. I was getting messages and tweets about that earlier before I even got a chance to listen to it. But we'll start with Common because, Common is one of our greats. AZ is as well. But after that freestyle, I think a lot of people were, looking forward to hearing what Common's offering was going to be. So what was your reaction listening to Common's new album?
My reaction was that it was solid. It was just cool. Like it wasn't one of his better efforts. Like this project isn't gonna go in isn't gonna go down in the annals as like one of his 5 best efforts, I think, by any means. It was very solid. It was very safe. Musically, it's more inspiring than its predecessor. But it still leaves much to be desired. Like I told you, I told you, Mike. I was kind of like, so what's the message?
Right, I kind of was left empty too. Shout out to K Thompson in the room. He said, "Y'all not gonna like the Kim album." You know what? Before we even jump off into that,
I haven't heard enough to even give a fair assessment in all honesty.
You know what I don't like about Kim's? It's not his effort or whatever in that way, because I'm not gonna front. I listened to the Kendrick verses. I'm not pleased with what Kendrick's doing on there, but we can talk about that in the later segment. All right, Common's album, A Beautiful Revolution Part 2. He posted out a tweet. I'm gonna go to it real quick. He said, A Beautiful Revolution Part 2 was created with hope and inspiration in mind. The spirit of the album was meant to emulate what a greater day would sound and feel like. We were in the midst of some tough political and social challenging times. I don't know if the tweet ran short because of lack of characters, but that kind of seemed a little bit incomplete. But that is indicative of this effort. I feel you. I agree. When I finished listening to the album, I'm like, okay, well, what's this about again?
Where are we going? What are we doing? Yeah.
Because,
where are we going?
And I only say that to say that
what are we doing?
I don't know, man. You kind of got to put things in context. A Beautiful Revolution, I guess you could take that in certain ways, but I don't really know what he means by that. It seems like the theme of this album. Go ahead.
No, like, I hate to interrupt you, but it's like, isn't that an oxymoron?
It is. You could say that
revolution is a lot of things, but beautiful ain't like.
Right. You could say that the results were beautiful, I guess, if that's where you want to go, but I don't really get that from this album. I think that Imagine single that he put out first, it was kind of like a play on Nas's If I Ruled the World. It's like, that's kind of like the theme of this album, where it's like, just imagine a perfect world, but I don't understand where the term revolution even comes in at.
You know what I thought when we were actually talking behind the scenes right before we went live, Mike? I was thinking to myself, like, it's so he's gotten so political with it. it's like, you want to know what this album is? This album is like a bunch of campaign speeches.
It feels like that. He feels like a politician, all the way down to the fact that it's damn near a clean album with no cursing in it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, no. There's nothing wrong with that. Rakim rarely cursed.
No, that's fine. But that's not what his resume was built on, even when he was speaking in revolutionary terms. The Terminator said Common's album is wholesome, lyrical, and thought-provoking. Where did you think it was so lyrical and thought-provoking at, is my question. And I think that sometimes when people take on a certain subject, and some people have a certain resume for being lyrical and thought-provoking, we just carry that over based on the themes of their project. I didn't see anything super lyrical about this album. Personally, honestly, I saw a lot of contradictory,
No, keep going.
I saw a lot of contradictions in some of the things that he says and how he moves politically. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was out there campaigning with the Joe Bidens of the world, with the Kamala Harrises of the world, but you're out here spitting lyrics like, talking about freeing blacks from, minor weed charges. You know Kamala Harris's record on that, sir. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's contradictory things all over the place. And unfortunately, I feel like when MCs, hip hop artists, athletes, whoever, especially artists, when you start aligning yourselves with politicians and political parties in that sense, you run that risk of it spilling over into your music. And just based on how he was campaigning for, certain political pundits and people who are in power, it's hard for me to believe some of the stuff that he's actually saying in this effort. It doesn't hit me that same way, because everybody that he ran with or he ran campaigns for, they actually won their election. So my thing is, like, you know how they tell you the old saying is, write your congressman? Well, you have a direct line to people. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems like one of those things where you're kind of living in an imaginary world, but you actually have the access to get some of these things done that you're quote unquote imagining about. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're saying a lot of poignant things, Mike, and for the most part, I agree with you, and you're spot on. And that's why I was like, so what's this album about again? Because I kind of felt like I felt like he was a politician that kind of took me for a ride. It's like, man, this sounds good, and it's like, even, and Mike, you and I talked about this too, like the melodies and the sounds are very Afrocentric, and you kind of get into the melodies and everything, but you're like, oh, what are you saying? What are you talking about? Did he just get me?
A constant theme in a lot of...
I didn't just pay him tithes, did I? I didn't just pay him tithes, did I? I didn't just pay him tithes, did I?
This is definitely a preachy album, right? It feels like that to me. And a constant theme in Common's albums, and I've been a fan of Common since the mid to early 90s. It's a theme of black. I didn't hear black at all in this album. And it's interesting because it was black themes all around it. And for me, as a person that follows politics, that's exactly what certain black politicians do. They'll go out their way to not say black. And that kind of struck me, where it was like, is Common a politician now? Like, are you gearing yourself to run for something in the way that this thing is dressed,
Yeah, that's why I was like, hold on, what we doing? Like where are we going? Like, where are he taking us?
It's like you said, it's a beautiful revolution, but I never, I saw all these black themes.
Like, is he about to run for office? Is he about to run for office?
It feels like it. You know what I'm saying? And the things that I was hearing in these songs, it felt like it. Like from the poetry in the beginning,
Right.
and
you want to know what was crazy, Mike?
What's up?
And I love, like, Jessica, but I was like, oh, this one of them real long Jessica poems, like 3 minutes long. I'm like, oh, that's what we doing? That's why I was like, what we doing?
And see, and I don't want people out there to think I'm hating or whatever, but I would listen to Black
Yeah,
America Again.
right.
You know the album Black America Again. What was that? 2000. What was that? 16 now, something like that.
Was that the one with red wine on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty
That
solid
was a
effort.
dope album. And I'm listening to songs like Home, and there's a level of aggression there. Like there's a level of intensity is the word I'm looking for when you talk about getting what you want out of society and out of America, and what you think America needs to be for Black people is what I got from, Common Stance, right? I don't see that in this. And it's so wild that now you got the access. Because you helped to get Warnock his seat. You helped to get Austin off his seat. You helped Joe Biden get his seat. You helped Kamala Harris get her seat. Now we're not intense. That's, the intensity is lost now. Doesn't mean it's bad music, but as a listener, and especially as a Black listener, it makes me not feel it as much. And I don't know what conscious hip hop is without a feeling.
I love it when you go on the rants.
I mean, I know I said a lot. I probably was all over the place, but
No.
I put it in simple terms for people who might think I was all over the place. I don't believe anything Common says in his music anymore, and that's unfortunate. As a longtime fan.
So, how would you rate this album with all of those things being said, then, Mike? What's your take? What's your take? Because I found the music to still be pretty good, even with all those things that you accurately and appropriately stated.
I mean, out of a 5, musically it's put together. I'm just basically going to have to grade it on the structural side of it. Well, I'll give it points for that because it was put together very well. And It's a very easy listening album. But again, that's a big hole for someone who's, who is Common and who does have the ability to articulate himself in a certain way. So I'd say it's average, man. It's about 3.5, man. I'm not gonna give him a 0 because I didn't like where he was coming from. But on the execution level, I can't give it anything more than a 3.5.
I would have to agree, Mike. We got some more mid from another legendary artist. It's a 3.5.
How did you like that freestyle? Hold on. I'm gonna go to the freestyle real quick for the people in the room. And shout out to
3.75 instead of 3.5.
Shout out to everybody in the room. The Terminator said, "Damn, y'all hating." Darnell Lee says, "I listen to Common, AZ, and Baby Kim." Which one did you like the most, Darnell Lee? How do you think the Common was in relation to the AZ? Because we're about to get into the AZ. But yeah, let us know what y'all favorite song on the Common record was. I mean, I guess I can go to that while we're talking about it. What was your favorite song on there? Did you have a favorite song?
I don't know. I really like the vibe to When We Move.
I was going to say When We Move also, but again, I believe Black Thought. But see,
And also, I think Star of the Gang.
Darnell Lee said mid. There it is.
It's a mid.
It's mid.
It's a mid.
You know what? Everybody's going crazy about his freestyle, though. I saw Ghostface posted it. I saw DJ Premier post it.
No, the freestyle was bananas.
Oh, let's go to that real quick.
These are the strides of a knocker. Took time to myself like Naomi Osaka. Took time off to never rhyme soft. My mind's off the grid that I climbed off. I'm locked till I sign off. My man Murray said never take your shine off. Sometimes I go offline to get these lines off. My crown chakras like a Chi-Town opera. Violence, they broke in my crib and seen Oscars, Emmys, Grammys. Damn me near an EGOT, and he's still hip-hop. I'm the rap with Bird is to bebop, with AI is to Reebok, with Jada is to D-Block. The game need a detox. Go get your turmeric and Dr. Sadie Seamoss. Burn the sands we crossed for the tribes that we lost. In the war with stars, I make niggas in the Ewoks. I'm a rap god, but still human like the beatbox. Like, wow! A 1-2, rest in peace to Biz Markie. Honor those who spark me. I spit verses like girls get purses. Some rappers get by and some get purchased. My shape's earthless, I came to earth's surface to reverse curses and birth purpose. My verse nurtures a woman's worth is first. This is soul merch.
Hold on. Where was that comment on this album?
That's what I said, Mike. I mean, you want to know what? And everybody gonna be talking about that freestyle after this album passes over real soon because it's a mid. But that freestyle is, that's the guy that some people are saying, is a top 10 MC all time.
Right. And I was thinking about Finding Forever when I was listening to that because we talked about offline that Common's style has changed so much in different eras. Like you got the obviously the Can I Borrow $1 style that he never revisited. You got the Resurrection style, then the One Day It'll All Make Sense style, and then he had the like Water for Chocolate style that he never did again either. And but yeah, I mean, so he continuously changed, but I think that style right there reminds me of his Finding Forever flow with like songs like The Game.
Yeah,
and very much like the record, The Game, and very much he's phenomenal when he's in that element. There are traces of that guy on Resurrection, on Watermelon, One Day It'll All Make Sense, Hungry, the Sixth Sense on like Water for Chocolate, Shy City on B. Shy City is bananas. That's my favorite song on B.
Right, so that you like him in that element, and he has consistently had that element almost since the day that he came out, and that's part of why a lot of people consider him to be a top 10 MC. But Mike, what I'm going to kind of hit you back with is like what are his 5 best albums, and how do those 5 albums relate to the other MCs who are considered to be top 10ish?
That's funny you say that because we were talking about that in the barbershop today. My shout out to E out there at his and her barbershop, but he was saying that Common's top 10 for him, but he also admitted that B is Common's only classic. I will say this, man. I don't know. Do you think B is his only classic?
I mean, that depends on how you feel about Resurrection or Finding Forever.
You think Finding Forever is number 3? All right, this is how I'm going to rank Common's efforts. I'm going to say B number 1. And you know what? As time has gone by, I kind of feel like Water for Chocolate might be number 2.
No, it is.
Yeah?
Like for me,
I didn't always feel like that.
Like for me, I feel like he has 2 classics, and that's B and like Water for Chocolate. And that's why I'm saying it depends on how you feel about Resurrection and Finding Forever, because I feel like B and like Water for Chocolate are classics. It's just about how you feel about Finding Forever and Resurrection, or One Day It'll All Make Sense.
I think that I might be going Resurrection number 3 and One Day It'll All Make Sense number 4 and then Finding Forever 5. Is that wrong?
Really? I don't know. It's hard for an album that is produced by Kanye and the only beat production that's not from Kanye gets done by DJ Premier and Dilla. That's what Finding Forever is. Finding Forever, production-wise, is Kanye West, DJ Premier, and Jay Dilla. I mean, so no, Resurrection and One Day It'll All Make Sense to me. He might be... No, I don't even know if he's a better MC and the production's not better. So I'm going to say Finding Forever is number 3. Resurrection has a feel to it that maybe Finding Forever doesn't, that you're speaking to.
Maybe it's nostalgia for me because I have been a fan for a long time.
Right.
The Terminator says, like Water for Chocolate, B, Resurrection, Finding Forever, One Day. Is that in order, Terminator? Because
hold on, say that again.
He said, let me go back up. Said like Water for Chocolate, B, Resurrection, Finding Forever, and One Day It All Makes Sense.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go B, like Water for Chocolate, Finding Forever, and then I'm going to go Resurrection, and then One Day It'll All Make Sense. But I'll tell you something about One Day It'll All Make Sense. That's when I kind of knew he was going to stay.
Yeah.
That's the album where I knew he was going to stick around and he was going to be here for a while. And that album is kind of underrated. It's kind of uneven, too. But there's a lot of great stuff on that. Real Nigga Quotes, Invocation, the joint with Lauren, Retrospect for Life.
Oh yeah.
The God track with CeeLo.
Yep.
Making a Name for Ourselves with Cannabis. Hungry is
Oh
on there.
yeah. Making a name for ourselves with Cannabis was awesome, man. And you know what? I give him props because not a lot of people in that
A lot of
era
people wanted to rap with Cannabis.
Not
not a
straight
lot of
up.
people wanted to rap with Cannabis straight up and down one on one.
Nobody did. Cannabis was reserved to posse cuts.
Was he the only one that rapped like straight up and down with Cannabis?
I think he was.
Super high marks for that.
Yeah, super high marks for that. He got slaughtered, but it's Cannabis, and that's
you
what.
Want to know what's funny? He'll tell you that he got slaughtered too. He laughed about that later on.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Dude, so, yeah.
Joe Bro says, "Like Water for Chocolate, not classic. Crazy. Like Water for Chocolate is definitely a classic."
Yeah, I said it's a classic.
Yeah. But see, my only apprehension about that though, Coop, is the fact that when you talk about classic, right? And I think you were about to say it. Where do Common's classics stack up to other people's classics? Now, if we start stacking like Water for Chocolate up with other classics, how classic is it?
So this is what I mean. So let's stack him up against somebody who he actually beat in battle, like an Ice Cube, for a second. Ice Cube's two best albums are America's Most and Death Certificate.
Not even close.
So we got a problem now, don't we?
Okay. Let's talk about other people in Common's era. Since we're on this subject, we were going to save this subject for later, but we're into it, and I think that it works. Let's talk about Nas, right?
You don't want to do
Illmatic, it was written. So it was written in, like Water for Chocolate. Okay, cool. Let's talk about The Roots, maybe. Is that fair?
That's okay. So let's go there. What are their two best albums?
I think Philadelphia, Half-Life, and Things Fall Apart.
Which one is number 2 to you?
I think Philadelphia's number 2 to me, but I know you're gonna say the other way around.
I mean,
I think Things Fall Apart is brilliant to me.
It's super close. I will say this: the band is better on Things Fall Apart. Philadelphia has that hip hop feel, kind of like Dropout, but so we're like Water for Chocolate, Philadelphia, Half-Life. What say you? I think that's pretty good, actually.
That's very comparable.
Yeah, that's very
comparable. I might go with I think I might go with like Water for Chocolate on that.
See, okay, so maybe this is just where I prefer Thought over Common. At the end of the day, I listen to Philadelphia more than I listen to like Water for Chocolate, just in retrospect.
Okay. I think that's fair, and that's a little bit balanced, right? Okay, so we talk about Black Thought and Common, and I think we spoke about this last week, that they would be the perfect, matchup when you talk about a versus or something like that. Now, other MCs in his class, right? Let's talk about MCs in the 90s.
Okay.
Who we got next that, to put...
What about Redman?
Redman. Whew, that's a good one. So
Muddy
we got
Waters,
Muddy Waters.
And There's a Dark Side.
Right.
Right?
It's hard to really compare There's a Dark Side to like Water for Chocolate.
It is. I think like Water for Chocolate is probably a better record, though.
You think so? That's debatable. All right, let's talk about Ghostface then, right? So you got Supreme Clientele and Iron Man.
Correct.
Yeah. Not even
like Water for Chocolate's not touching Iron Man.
Exactly. It's not.
It's not touching Mighty Ghostface.
So I think that's the problem that we have with like Water for Chocolate, without having to continuously go into it. When you look at people who are in the top 10, period, right?
Right.
Their second best effort is much better than like Water for Chocolate. Many of the times.
And also too, and I want to say this while we're talking about it, and I told you I think like Water for Chocolate's better than There Is a Dark Side. Well, I have Redman right outside my top 10 about that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's also my thing with Redman that I don't know if we can say about Common. Okay, so there's Muddy Waters and There Is a Dark Side. But What the Album and Doc's the Name are also great records.
Oh, definitely. K. Thompson says, what about Mos Def for Talib? I mean, Talib has a catalog, but Mos doesn't really have too much.
No. What Mos has is phenomenal, but
Mos,
but it's not enough. Talib, he's not on Common's level in terms of the album making quality.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Lyrically, he's there lyrically, but the albums.
I think Talib's best effort is the Reflection Eternal effort. Train of Thought was brilliant.
The beautiful struggle.
Yeah. Darnell Baxter says Ghost is in a tier above. That's an interesting conversation, and I think that takes us to where we really wanted to talk about this. Like, if you say that Ghost is a tier above Common, what tier is Common in? Where is Common on an all-time list? Is Common an A-list MC?
So that's what I mean. I told you it's like, so he, like, I had a couple of the cats in my hip hop and sports group that I'm a part of, you know, like, they were telling me personally top 5 to them, right next to Thought. And I was like, whoa, like, still, I'm thinking, like, if this is around B or Finding Forever, yeah, like, I feel you, because after Finding Forever, I'm like, I probably had him at, like, 8 or 9. Like, when did Finding Forever come out, 2005?
Yes. No. 2007.
2007.
Because B was 2005.
Yeah. Okay, so 2007. So that's 15 years ago almost, like 14. Yeah. So, I mean, and for me, the stuff that he's made since Finding Forever, it's been like kind of touch and go. It's like you're searching for the quality record. Some of the albums are good. Some of the albums aren't. Most of them are uneven. Like, remember The Dreamer, The Believer?
Mm-hmm. I like The Dreamer, The Believer. You didn't like it?
That shit don't slap, Mike.
What did you not like about it? It was dull.
It was just uninspired. It was super safe.
But there's a lot of that for Common, because that freestyle that we just played, that level of MCing we don't see on record from him often. I mean, I saw it a little bit on Black America Again. Like I said, songs like Home featuring Bilal. Joe Bro said Common is more in the top 20 to 30 range. The Terminator says that Common is top 5.
Top 5. Okay, so
Daryl Baxter, I'm sorry I was calling you Darnell. Daryl Baxter says top 15 to 20. And he used to be my number 2. I'm with you there. I didn't have him that high, but I had him high. He has
I had him
dropped.
At like 8 or 9. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I think in his prime, probably 8 or 9. But overall, I would lean towards 15 to 25 at this point.
K. Thompson says Common is top 15. Okay.
15
let's
go. To 25.
Let's do the tough work, right? Let's go ahead and do it. Is Common better than Nas? No.
Hold on. Let's go ahead and get some people out the way who we know he's not better than. That's Rakim.
Rakim, Nas, Jay.
Big.
Pac, okay.
Ghost.
KRS-One.
KRS-One.
He's not better than KRS-One. Big Daddy Kane is a question for me.
No. But let's go definites.
Let's go definites. That's 7 I got.
That's 7 definite. Ice Cube, Mike.
Ice Cube. Scarface. That's 9.
Scarface. Mike, we at 9.
We're at 9. What do you think about him when it comes to LL Cool J?
No, what about Kiss and Kendrick?
Is Common better than Kendrick Lamar?
No. He's not.
Okay. We'll say 10.
Where?
Cool G Rap. I mean, where we got Cool G Rap? I know you're a big Cool G Rap guy.
I am. So Cool G Rap's a better lyricist to me. He just doesn't have the catalog. I would give Common the edge.
Okay. We got Andre 3000 in the chat.
No, we don't.
Okay. Yeah.
No, we don't.
He has no. Listen, Andre doesn't have any song where he has 3 verses by himself. What about Jadakiss?
Is he better than Redman?
I don't know, man. See, these are the ones that are debatable.
So. Is he better than Method Man?
I don't. All right. Let's.
Hold on. Listen, hold on. I'm not done. Is he better than Raekwon?
This is the thing, Coop.
Hold on, because hold on. Here's what I'll tell you. Because listen to what I'm about to tell you. What's Raekwon's 2 best albums? Purple Tape 1 and 2.
But see, this is the thing, bro. Common, and I think you just said this Wednesday. We were talking about Kendrick Lamar. Where we're holding Common high mostly for is his album catalog. I don't think he's a better MC than a lot of the guys that you just mentioned.
Right. Like, I don't think he's a better MC than Cool G Rap. Like, in my heart, I just can't, like, bring that to fruition in my mind. It's like, nah, Common not better than Cool
I don't
G
think
Rap.
he's a better MC than Redman either. And I think that Redman has probably had a better career. Is that fair? I don't know. Because, again, what Common really doesn't have, and we talked about this offline, he doesn't have, like, those standout features or whatever, like where Redman jumped on the headbanger or something.
Redman was going gold from jump. It took Common like 7-8 years to go gold. Redman was gold platinum from the gate. So Redman's had the better career. And Redman transitioned into TV and film faster and successfully.
Redman, he was groundbreaking in his style. Like you said, you know who originated all that wild shit, that row shit. Like that whole approach.
Ooh, is Common better than Busta Rhymes, Mike?
I don't think so. But
so
see, this is the thing.
I'm saying, hold on. So where are we at? Like 1, 2, 3.
Well, we had 10 definites, and a lot of the people that we were just discussing were just debatable. What do you think about Prodigy? Somebody just mentioned Prodigy in the chat.
You know how I feel about P. Like I just prefer P to Common.
But see, that's what we keep running into because the Terminator says Common is more diverse than Redman, right? That's gonna be the argument that Common keeps getting just off of his content and that approach. But at the end of the day, there's so many MCs that we like more than Common. You like Prodigy more than Common, right?
Hold on. I like Prodigy more than a lot of these guys that we just named. I just know he's not better than. But he might be like I think Prodigy and Common is like a fair comp. And here's the thing. Okay, so let's go to Mobb Deep's classics. Mike, the infamous Murder Music, Hell on Earth. Common don't want no smoke with that.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so what? Y'all don't believe that Busta is better than Common? I don't know. I mean, again, that's me being biased, maybe.
I think that's just a preference thing.
Huh.
But I'm just saying.
Huh.
I'm just asking questions.
No, you're right. I mean, because again, do we get the feeling that we get?
Okay. I mean, like right. That's what I'm saying. PB making you feel something, man. Like that. Like does Common have one verse like touching that Shook Ones 2 verse or the Nighttime Vultures verse?
Andrew mentioned Wayne.
The Give Up the Goods verse.
Right. Andrew mentioned Wayne. I will enter T.I. in the chat too. Is Common better than T.I.?
I was thinking T.I. I was thinking The Game. I was thinking Ross too. All those guys. See, he's somewhere in there to me, and that would put him 15 to 25.
What about Eminem? No.
Rock Nation brunch pose.
K. Thompson says, what about Big Boy?
I thought about that briefly too when somebody tried to be funny and throw 3 stacks up in here. That goes down to some of Outkast's catalog too, because as a solo artist, Common's proven himself to be a better solo artist than Big Boy.
Right. Yeah, I think Common's somewhere in that 15, and it's interesting, man. I think we do need to see him in the verses. We do need to see him in the verses to see how his music matches up with his peers. Because I think that's the only real issue that we have is like, we know that he makes quality product, but when we put his product up against his peers' product, it's different. He has nothing that's anywhere near Only Built for Cuban Links.
But I mean, Mike, that
B is awesome.
I think B is one of the best rap albums ever, but it would be on the back end of the best rap albums ever, where like Purple Tape's like red carpet, front row, taking pictures about type of like classic album. So I feel you.
Production's important for everybody, but does it feel like Common's efforts are only as great as the producer he's working with?
No, because he made Electric Circus with Dilla, and they should.
No, I feel you, but I'm talking about even the good stuff.
Oh, I mean the
because Supreme Clientele
stuff.
has all kind of producers on it, right? Life After Death has all kind of producers on it, whereas Common's best efforts are centered around like, okay, Kanye's taking on this effort, or like Water for Chocolate is like, okay, this is Soul Aquarium,
right?
Yeah,
no, right. With a little Primo.
Right. One Primo.
Right. One Primo. Little Primo. Like I said, a little Primo sprinkled in. He'd like to come sprinkle a little Primo in on his albums. And we're okay with that. The results have been stunning. The projects are there. He's there as an MC, Mike. So here's what I will tell you. What does he truly embody as an MC that people can really gravitate towards him as opposed to somebody else? So this is what I'm talking about. If you from the streets, if you done seen some things or been through some things, when P talk, you gonna gravitate to that. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I told you about that verse on Nighttime Vultures that I rose early morning, spread my wings yawning, vague memories of last night, now it's all dawning. Look down and seen dry blood all on my garments. It stained up my guest farmers, colored enormous. I hopped up, hot on my bed, holding my head.
Well, you know, P and Mobb Deep's impact, I mean, that's self-explanatory.
You feel something, Mike. Mike, he making you feel something.
What is Common's impact?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So for what he does, I think one of the things is that there have been a lot of other guys who have done it as well or better. Because
Donnell Lee asked a good question, not to interrupt you. He says, are we going with the total body of work or the better MC? See, when it comes to Common, it's like we're going to have to...
Are we kind of talking about both? It's like Kool G Rap's a better MC, but Common has the better body of work.
Common has a better body of work than a lot of people. And for a lot of people in the chat that are saying that we're tripping, we're not negating any of his body of work because he has a very, very quality body of work and been very consistent.
Top 15 to 25 MC is not tripping.
Yeah, he's been around nearly 30 years and been consistent with his body of work. But see, the thing is, outside of that body of work, what do we have? Because if we had Com in a cypher with some of these MCs we're mentioning, he's not going to stand out. He's not going to stand out with rapping with Ghost at his height. He's not. Or Method Man, for that matter.
Okay, so Mike.
Busta Will.
Mike, Pusha T?
I was thinking about mentioning Pusha T, but I know people would think that we tripping, whatever, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say that Pusha T is ahead of Common. It's hard for me to say that, but I will say this, man. It's hard for me to really pinpoint the lyricism that Common has given us.
Right.
In the past 20 years.
So here's what I'm trying to express to you is that him at his peak is pretty great. It's just there's always somebody that does something comparable to him, in my opinion, that's been a little bit better. The people that immediately come to mind are Black Thought and Nas.
Well, Donnell Lee says all those guys we mentioned have a better body of work than Common. See, that's the thing about Common, too. Not everybody acknowledges his body of work. So it's like you said, it's like there's a lot of people that just don't feel him to that degree. I mean, if you ask me my favorite Common verse, I have to think about it. I'm sure I'll dig and, be able to pull some quotables out. But with Pusha, I mean, I could think of like 22 niggas 2 a call. 11 flagships with the 3-point star. The only other ballers is them 3-point stars. We only 5'9". They think we point guards. No jumpers. Still at the top of the key. Shamario Patterson says Pusha would get washed by Common.
Mike, you already know how many Pusha verses I know. I mean, like
Andrew said I prefer Pusha.
Pick a verse off Hell Hath No Fury, Mike. So many deceive ya. I'm more in touch with the keys. Move over Alicia. I force feed you the metric scale. Raps like child's play, my show and tell.
Donnell Lee brought up something good. He said Common and Luda have the same issue with comparing to their peers. And Busta Rhymes too.
That's that's a very insightful observation. You said something right there. That was a bar.
Yeah.
A whole bar.
Because I don't know where to put Luda either, to be perfectly honest.
Me neither, but he's great. And you know he's great.
Yeah.
Like he arguably showed up Nas and Kiss on the Made You Look remix. Like regular MCs can't show up Nas and Kiss.
You got Common over Cole?
More shit out on the street than evicted tenants.
K. Thompson asked, y'all got Common over Cole?
I do.
I do too, but I will say this,
because I think B and Finding Forever are better than Forest Hills Drive.
But see, Cole means more to his era than Common does.
That's fair. You know what? That's something to think about.
Yeah.
The answer's still no for me, but that's something to think about.
Because even if you think about like Water for Chocolate, as much as we're talking about it now and talking about it being classic now, that wasn't the conversation in 2000, really. It was just a good album.
I thought it was a really great album from the time that I heard it.
No, it was dope. I had the CD, but we weren't talking classic. That was Supreme Clientele talk.
That's different, Mike.
I'm just saying. That's what the year had brought us.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, we go back and I say that about It Was Written all the time. When It Was Written dropped, it wasn't like, boom, this is a classic. It became classic over time.
I mean, well, Mike, no, I was pretty much telling people that was some classic that he was doing.
I was like, yo, this ain't Illmatic, son.
Like, no. I mean, Mike, it wasn't Illmatic, but I was like, man, ain't nobody rapped like this before. What you mean?
All right, listen, man. We're gonna circle back to this because I know this is a conversation that can go on and on. Let's talk about this AZ, man.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this AZ album, man. AZ dropped Do or Die 2. And, we've been waiting on this forever. Some people say they've been waiting for this for 42 years. I saw a tweet that said that.
Yeah.
But AZ released the track list. I'll throw the track list up here. And everybody was intrigued by some of the features. I think the song with Jaheim came out first, The Will.
Yeah.
They had a video for that. That shit was dope. Rick Ross is on the album. Conway the Machine and Lil Wayne are on the same song on there. Dave East is on the album, and even T-Pain made the album. So, look, man,
production top notch. Bink, Buck Wild.
Yes.
Pete Rock, Alchemist.
Yeah, I don't want to miss that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about the album?
Mike, highly impressed. Second best album of his career.
I think it's very impressive at this stage in his career. And I think we just talked about this Wednesday. We were talking about the fact that right now, it's probably been the most flooded hip-hop has been in a good sense, where you got guys from 18 to 50-something putting out quality work. Nobody feels out of place. This is a grown man hip-hop effort. It's no reaching. It sounds good to the ear, man. Very good production. The features made sense. They went right where they were supposed to go. I loved it.
I love it too, Mike.
The bars were there. Conway has a potential verse of the year on there.
So, Mike, this is So Did Wayne. I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Mike, this is this right now is the surprise of the year.
Oh, definitely. What do y'all think in the chat about this, man? People said, let's talk about it. It said, Terminator said, AZ album felt like it should have dropped 22 years ago, but it was dope. Lil Wayne murdered the song. K. Thompson said, Wayne is on everyone's album. LOL. Donna
Wayne,
Lee
talk
said,
about Wayne right quick. Wayne 4 for 4 this year, Mike. We was talking about that behind the scenes. Wayne 4 for 4 this year. He looking
he is.
sharp.
LP
Yeah.
says Pete Rock dropped some of his best beats in years on this.
Well, it's only one beat, but yes.
Hey man, Pete Rock made damn Brutus. For those that don't know,
You want to know what? This beat might be a little better than the beat the Brutus, actually.
you know me, I'm a super Pete Rock fan, man. I fuck with Pete Rock, and just about everything he drops is dope, man. And he's been doing it forever. He doesn't get the props he deserves. So, but yeah, you want to talk about Wayne being 4 for 4? Is that where you want to start?
Hold on, real quick. You want to know what one of my favorite Pete Rock beats is, Mike?
What's that?
Show Off with Wale on the Smoke DZA album.
Ooh.
I love Show Off. That beat is a monster of a record.
I'm going to go back a little bit. I think one of his most underappreciated joints is True Master, man. That beat is
Mike, don't get me
sick.
started. That True Master better not be underappreciated.
It is underappreciated, man. People don't talk about True Master enough, man. That beat is sick.
Classic. Instant classic.
Sick, man.
Instant. From the moment the beat drops, Mike, it's an instant classic. Stop that.
I know last year, and we're going to talk about our yearbook too, but last year you gave Rick Ross the featured artist of the year. Is Lil Wayne impinging on that for this year? Wayne just jumped on the Tyler and showed out, jumped on the West Side Gun. He did his thing on the Drake album, and now he's on the AZ album.
Showed out.
Yeah, man, Wayne is 4 for 4 right now. But yeah, what are some of your initial thoughts from the AZ album? I'm going to let you have the floor.
I think it's an album of the year contender because right now I would put it right next to Sky Zoo's All the Brilliant Things and probably slightly ahead, which would mean I would have it as the 5th best album this year, which means it would be an album of the year contender. And it's a phenomenal piece of work for the most part. It made me go listen to Do or Die today, and here's why. I needed to know that Do or Die was better than this project after listening to this project a couple times. And that's saying a lot, Mike, because I want to talk about this briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why rating stuff properly when it comes out matters. When Do or Die came out, Do or Die got 4 mics in the source. That's not a 4 mic album, Mike. I listened to Do or Die today. That's a 4.5 mic album. Mike, let's listen to some of the records that are on the first Do or Die. Gimme Yours. You remember Gimme Yours with Nas on the hook? That's a banger, Mike. If I'm not mistaken, Buck Wild maybe. Gimme Yours. Mike, Rather Unique with Pete Rock.
Yeah.
Mike, Mo Money, Mo Murder, Mo Homicide. The Back and Forth with Nas. Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
The record Do or Die. Your World Don't Stop. Your World Don't Stop was killing the Clue and the Flex mixtapes.
Yeah. No, you're right.
We can't win. I feel for you, Mike. Ho Happy Jackie's better than Black Girl Lost. That's what I found out today when I was listening to Do or Die today. I'm like, Ho Happy Jackie better than Black Girl Lost.
No, you're right.
Mike, Uncut Raw. Oh, he ballistic on there, Mike. Can't too many dudes rap like that on Uncut Raw.
That's an easy 4.5 mic album.
It's an easy 4.5 mic album. So the fact that they gave it 4, they were just comparing him too much to Nas and Illmatic too much.
Yeah,
that's a 4.
And they were comparing him to his Life's a Bitch verse, and the fact that he was on Illmatic worked against him in that aspect.
He held up that standard on Do or Die. Mike, go listen to him on Uncut Raw and Rather Unique.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Do or Die.
Well, you know what I was going to say, too.
With a man named Giuliani, you can try to blind me, analyze, but can't define me. My words define, heavily entwined with Gandhi, sparks from feeble. I leave your nostrils hard to breathe through because my cerebrals is more of a high plane in the Hebrew. My mic devotion brings out my deepest emotions, overdosing, want to be voxing, sending them through convulsion. Stop that, Mike.
Yo, man, some people say that AZ is the most underrated MC ever. I can see that.
Crazy.
Yo, even this being considered number 2 is high marks because Pieces of a Man is highly regarded.
Mike, I was going to this immediately. My thought was that this may not have a couple of the highlights that are on Pieces of a Man, but beginning to end, it's better. Pieces of a Man just had some stunning moments like How You Living, I'm Known, Sosa. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Like I'm Known's one of my favorite AZ records. Laid Up with the Skinny Chick, Bailey's with the Henny Mixed. I remember I'm Known. Like, no, he's spitting crazy on Pieces of a Man. This is a better album.
So what's your favorite song on this album so far?
Ooh, you want to know what? I like Different.
You like Different.
Different. Check Me Out. Like I always try to go to the artist records, like because here's how I feel about features, especially when like people come and deliver on features. It's like, oh well, you're supposed to do that. That's what a feature's for. So
You're
it's
right.
like, of course, Ritual with Conway and Wayne is one of the best records. Blow That Shit with Dave East, Mike, you're right. Blow That Shit might be the highlight of the album.
I like that song.
I like
And I'm
Blow
not
That Shit.
even super high on Dave East like that. I like Dave East.
I fuck with Dave East more than you do, but even I was surprised that Blow That Shit. I'm like, damn, they sound good together. This working.
Yeah. The production on this album is really, really dope, man. He did an
Really
awesome job.
Yeah, Never Enough, The Wheel, Just for You, Mike. It's got fire everywhere. It's got fire everywhere.
I mean, I think it's an album of the year candidate. I'm putting this around like a 4.5. I don't want to sit here and overreact or anything, but
No, that's where I have it.
yeah,
I have it rated the way that its predecessor should have been rated in 1995, 4.5.
Unfortunately, this album's missing Nas, but other than that, man, I mean, I think that
Pete Rock took care of that with the sample.
yeah,
Pete Rock took care of that on the sample with Check Me Out.
he did.
Mike,
I love
that's
it,
an
man.
old Nas sample, Mike. That's from Halftime, Mike.
Yeah, people are saying, yeah, Asiatic was pretty dope too. Yes, it was, man.
Asiatic would be fourth.
Yeah. This man has a catalog, man.
He has a catalog. So, Mike, when you hear somebody like AZ who has Easy, Mike, and I'm saying this, and this is no disrespect to anything, that verse on Life's a Bitch is easily one of the 10 best verses of all time.
It is.
Still to this day.
I think so.
He has that in his back pocket.
Or at
Like,
least 10 best featured verses. I'll put it that way.
No, Mike, that's one of the 10 best verses ever, period.
Visualizing
Visualizing the realism of life and actuality. Fuck who's the baddest. Your personal status depends on salary. And my mentality is money orientated. I'm destined to live the dream for all my peeps who never made it. Because yet we were beginners in the hood as 5%ers. But something must have got in us because all of us turned to sinners.
Yeah, that's a dope verse.
Man, there's not 10 verses better than that ever written. No, there's not.
Nah, that's a great verse.
So he's the author of that. He's also the author of 4 great projects now. Like 2 really stellar projects, both of the Do or Dies, and Asiatic and Pieces of a Man. So where is he?
Where is he on an all-time list? What say you guys in the chat? Because we got people in the chat.
Because Mike, he's really the only guy walking around that can say, no, I've stunted on Nas live on record a few times.
Yeah. And
he's the only guy walking around like that.
And on the best hip-hop album ever, or some would say the best hip-hop album.
Mike, Life's a Bitch. Even if a lot of people feel like that's a tie, and that's cool if you feel that way, but he still got him on the flyers. And he got him on Full Circle. And some of those back and forths they had, it was A2. Like A right there with Nas on Phone Tap.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we never got a duo album from them. That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
and you know what? It's interesting, man, that both of them dropped quality albums in 2021. I wouldn't be disappointed if we even got that duo album now.
You want to know what's crazy?
Fine with that.
Yeah. No. I told you, Mike, AZ's verse on Full Circle was probably the best verse on King's Disease last year.
Everybody in the chat is, not to cut you off, people in the chat are talking about...
Word when I evolved, the higher God emerged, deserved more. Yeah, Mike, AZ had the best verse on King's Disease last year.
People in the chat are talking about the best albums of 2021 so far. Let's go into that.
Let's go. King's Disease 2 at number 1. Bo Jackson by Boldy James, number 2.
You got Bo Jackson at number 2?
Yeah. Isaiah Rashad, The House is Burning, number 3.
You got that over AZ?
Tyler, the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost, because I need to hear the AZ some more. It just came out today.
Okay.
That's not, like the AZ just came out. I've listened to it twice.
Okay. That's fair.
So I don't want to throw it all the way up yet and discredit the work these other guys have done.
Okay.
Because my early thoughts are that it's a 4.5. I kind of felt like the Tyler and the Isaiah were 4.75.
Okay.
And
the Tyler was, eyebrow raising from jump.
It was. It's lost a little steam, but the quality is still there. But here's what I will tell you about the AZ. The degree of difficulty. We got to start discussing this with, I don't know how to say it.
That's how I feel.
Ass rappers coming through in the clutch like this.
That's how I feel.
And so, like, Boldy is still in his prime, would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Tyler and Isaiah for certain.
Yeah.
People
are bringing up Banks' album too, and there's a degree of difficulty with the Banks album too.
There's a degree of difficulty. I just don't. That album didn't hold up well over a course of time. It's still a really solid project. It's going to definitely be one of the 20 best albums this year, in my opinion. But if y'all think that the Banks album is going to make anybody's top 10 list, you just really ain't been listening to rap this year, because it's going to be hard for it to do that with the guys that are about to drop. Just in all honesty, unless all those guys disappoint. Like, what's the chance Conway, Pusha T, and Kendrick are going to disappoint? Not all three.
Darnell Baxter says Tyler album aged fast for me. Michael Sanders said Boldy James, Westside Gun, Isaiah Rashad, and AZ. Go ahead.
No. That's what I mean. It aged fast. That's why I put that's why I would probably have the Isaiah ahead of the Tyler. Yeah. It did age fast.
Yeah. All right. Well, shit. I guess we're gonna have to give the AZ a couple of weeks, but I think it's gonna age pretty well. You know what? This would be a segue into the yearbook too, man. For the people in the chat who weren't with us last year, what me and Coop did, we were like, you know what? We're gonna wrap up this whole year in one tangible yearbook, so people can go back and look at the year for what it was while it was actually happening and make sure it's documented. So all these conversations that we're having, we're gonna put this in the 2021 yearbook. And yeah, we want you guys' help too, just to let us know what albums need to be in that top 20, that top 10. What are the top 10 verses of the year? Because what we do last year, we did like the top 10 verses. How many did we end up keeping?
No, I think we did 20. We
About
did 20
verses.
20
yeah, because the whole theme was 20. Yeah, so yeah.
I'll tell you what's going to probably happen this year that didn't happen last year, that I kind of wanted to happen. We needed to get rolling. We're going to have to pick 50 songs, not 20.
Well,
it's just too hard.
That gets over to our next topic, man. The BET Awards, the BET Hip-Hop Awards, that is, they went ahead and announced some of their nominees. And I think what their Song of the Year nominees, I don't even want to start there because their Song of the Year nominees is out there. But what was interesting was their Lyricist of the Year nominee was Benny the Butcher, Drake, J. Cole, Lil Baby, Megan Thee Stallion, and Nas. First of all, I want to ask you who you think is going to actually win this award. Who do you think the BET Hip-Hop Awards, is going to give this award to?
I don't know who to trust or what to trust anymore. They just gave Nas a Grammy last year.
It's such a weird list, right? It's like you would think that a show like that would have Lil Baby as the winner, but I
immediately thought that. But then I'm thinking, like, what are they nominating Lil Baby for again?
Lyricist of the Year, right?
And then I'm thinking to myself, it's like, but for what? For My Turn?
I think so. I mean, that's the other thing, because it feels like this is a mesh.
18 months old. My Turn's 18 months old.
I don't know if they're nominating Nas for King's Disease 1 or 2.
1 or 2. That's what I mean. What are we doing?
That's why I think, man, in my opinion, I think award shows have gotten obsolete. Award shows have gotten obsolete because music comes too fast.
Like me and my guy Obi, like back in the day when I was like out in Cali and like doing music, like we used to like want to crash these shows. Like I don't even like want to like that was our thing. We was like, yeah, like no, we gonna suit up and like bust up in here and whoop with it and like crash the Grammys and the BET Awards and yak. And it's like, man, like the shit be so convoluted and played, Mike. And it's like, you know, that they need all these people need to get their shit together. It's like, like.
I think they're trying, and the fact that Benny is actually nominated.
Try harder. Conway's not on there, so try harder.
Right.
Try harder. Conway not on
how
there.
Is Benny on here? And no disrespect, how is Benny on here and Conway's not on?
Category? What's the name of the
category? Lyricist of the Year.
Okay, so Conway's not on there, so try harder.
From a king to a god, because you got Lil Baby on here for my turn, but from a king to a god, you don't have lyricist of the year. Because they nominated Good News, I think, the Megan album or whatever. So, yeah, they're dipping into 2020. Daryl Baxter said, I'm going to need some more information, like eligibility periods. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of cloudy. But from what you see here, Benny, Drake, J. Cole, Lil Baby, Megan Thee Stallion, Nas. Who you think they're going to give lyricist of the year to?
I have no idea what to do with that list. We're just gonna say Drake.
All right. Well, let me ask you a better question, I guess.
They ain't even nominate Ye
for 2021.
Oh, I mean,
who would you? No. I'm gonna ask you for 2021. Who would you nominate for lyricist of the year? Then you got 4 nominations.
This year, we're talking about this year. I got 4 nominations.
We're not going by their qualifications. We're going by 2021. Anybody who dropped something in 2021 or who is like featured heavy in 2021, who are the 4 people that you are putting down for lyricist of the year nominees? Because we ain't going to do 6 nominees. We're going to do 4. Nas.
I have to say AZ after today.
You got AZ down here? Okay.
Conway. Cole. Okay. Yeah, Cole.
You know what? I would replace your Cole with Skyzoo.
I was thinking about Skyzoo.
Just
I was also thinking about these 4 Wayne verses.
I was thinking about the Wayne verses too. But I gotta give Skyzoo his props on this album. Oh, people are saying Freddie Gibbs too.
Gibbs has a couple of verses, but not enough material to get in my opinion.
I see a Ransom too.
Mike, you want to know what? Mike, I love Ransom's albums. Envy and Greed are 2 of the best songs this year, in my opinion. They're gonna make the top 50 list probably. Envy and Greed.
I might put Ransom ahead of J. Cole for 2021. And I'm kind of still out there with the AZ thing.
No, the AZ thing is real, Mike. He's spitting on this album.
He is.
AZ thing is real.
Okay.
Because because when you're talking about it, Mike, we got to understand part of the reason why I didn't mention Wayne. I'm like, well, yeah, but Wayne only got 4 verses. Gibbs only got X amount of verses.
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's why I put Skyzoo in there too. I mean, because Skyzoo's album is better than J. Cole's album.
If we're going to do a convoluted BET list and pick 6 people, then give me Nas, AZ, Cole, Conway, Skyzoo, and Wayne.
I think we should only do 4, man. 6 nominees is crazy.
We can't do a tacky ass BET 6 nominees?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just checking.
All right, so the other category they had, man, was Hip Hop Artist of the Year. Cardi B, Drake, J. Cole, Lil Baby, Megan Thee Stallion, Tyler the Creator. Similar list. Who do you think? What 4 people would you say are Hip Hop Artist of the Year in 2021 so far?
I mean, first of all, for all the money that Kanye done stole from people that he's not giving back, like Kanye's pretty big. He's pretty big. Shout out to everybody paying tithes to the Church of Jesus.
Listen, man, we feel different on that, but yeah, I feel you. Kanye should be on that list. Artist of the Year. I think Tyler too. I like Tyler being there.
Needs to be on a donation list, giving the money back that he stole, and putting out some mid in the process. But Kanye, Nas, Tyler. Right. So who would the 4th person be? I want to show Isaiah some love. for making this album. The House is Burning is a great album, Mike, and I think it's really, it has the potential to be a coming out party if the media will talk about it with the praise that it deserves.
Yeah, TDE has that whole Kendrick thing on their back, so it seems like nobody over there is able to get the attention that they need. LP says Nas, Kanye, Drake, and Tyler.
If you wanted to say Drake instead of Isaiah, I'm cool with that.
I was going to say, man, because you were kind of high on the Drake effort, right? I mean, we both had our criticisms on it, but...
I gave it 3.5. It's a mid. It's just better than Ye's album. That's why it seemed like I said, like, great things about it, because I just said it was better than Ye's album, but I keep trying to explain that that's not saying a whole lot, but whatever.
You know, I had a question that I wanted to reserve for the show, and I think this might be a decent segue into it. Everybody's talking about, well, not everybody, it's just really just certain platforms that are talking about the record sales of Drake's first week and all that. Since people don't buy albums anymore, do people really care about record sales anymore? Because people can't quantify them anymore. Like, the fact that you can't really go into a store and get that energy of you buying the disc or feeling like you put your money towards that artist in that way. Do first week record sales even count anymore? Like, do people even care about that anymore?
I don't think so. I mean, the game is just different now. This isn't 20 years ago.
Right.
5 years ago, where it's like, like we went through a thing starting with Snoop and Doggy Style, where we started to like really move units in ways that we didn't before. Like, I mean, I don't think people understand, like Doggy Style in its first, like, month, Mike, outsold Paid in Full. You know what I mean?
Right. Daryl Baxter said it's more important now than ever how much time people are spending with an artist. I don't know. I think there's a lot of analytics that are quantifiable, but I think the actual record sales, I don't think people even really understand how the streams equate to an actual physical sale and all that stuff for people to care that much about. That's just my opinion, though.
So can I submit something? It's like part of what we're doing even with this podcast is like, and I keep trying to say this, like, this is about the music and the culture and the quality of the music first. Everything else stems from that, Mike. Every time we end up going on one of these rants on some of these legendary artists, Mike, there's legendary work to go back to.
Yeah.
Nas, Illmatic, Snoop, Doggy Style, Jay, Reasonable Doubt, Ice Cube, Death Certificate, Scarface, The Diary. The greatness of this culture ties back to the quality of the music from the greatest artists. Ghost, Supreme Clientele, and Iron Man. Mike, when we compared Supreme Clientele and Iron Man to Common's best shit earlier, we almost laughed. Like, that's not a conversation. You know what I mean? It's about the quality of the work first. So it's not about the sales. And it becoming about the sales has been good for the financial aspect of the game, but we got to get back and root it into what this culture is about. And it's about making classic hip hop records that reflect the times and the angst going on in our communities.
I don't think sales in hip hop ever really mattered. There were a few.
Illmatic sold 300,000 copies in 1994. Don't tell me record sales matter. It's the greatest rap album ever still.
I think there are a few artists who made it a point to highlight their sales, and that was like, when 50 came along. And even with Doggy Style.
Before 50.
No, but I'm just saying, Doggy Style did numbers, you're right. But Snoop wasn't out here talking about the numbers he did.
It was so new. People weren't like, the numbers Dre and Snoop did. Ain't nobody, it was like, what? They did what? With this gangster? What?
Yeah.
That's what changed everything. Mike, East Coast rappers rap different after that. It was like, they just did what?
Well, you know who did talk about record sales? Tupac was talking about record sales. I will say that.
Mike, Snoop and Pac and Dre and Cube was out here going triple, quadruple, while these niggas was struggling to go gold or not going gold.
That's that Cali shit, man.
That's that Cali shit that I'm talking about that I seen live for myself. They support it like nobody business. Them dudes was running the game.
Yo, Michael Sanders said something that stands out to me. He said it seems like it's about merch and more than and sales nowadays. And it was funny because what Conway say on that AZ song when he was like, I could retire off my merch.
Forget Mike. He said that last year on Jesus Christ is getting rich off T-shirts really wasn't the plan. But every time a bag drop, I reel in. What? How many $100,000? Yeah.
Yeah.
Niggas keep trying to block my goals. I'm gonna make it messy.
I love it, man. I think that's a progression of the game, and I've always been one of those people to feel like, look, with the streaming platforms, music is essentially free. You're gonna have to make your money on other things, and the merch is one of those things. And it kind of goes to that whole Prince conversation I was having earlier. It's the fact that there is no real point system when it comes to streaming. The artist already ain't gonna eat off of physical sales anyway, even in the old structure of the record industry. But in this new structure, you got to be at least able to own your likeness enough where you can get money off that merch.
Prince seen it coming. That conversation he had with Nas at the I Am release party. Nas is like, "Can I get you on a record?" He like, "Do you own your masters? Like, do you know what that's gonna be worth for you and me to do a record together? Like, who gonna eat off that?
Exactly.
Our kids or their kids?"
Right.
Right.
And Prince want to be able to go to Nas and be like, look, we're not putting this on, this, and this. But when it's out of their hands, it's out of their hands.
Out of their hands.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, he wasn't being an ass like, yo, do you own your shit?
Like he wrote on his face. No, you're a slave. Like he wrote on his face, Mike. He wasn't crazy. He was never crazy.
No, the ones that are labeled crazy are never crazy.
I mean, we knew he was a genius.
Right,
it's just they called him a genius, then they called him crazy because he put slave on his face. It's like, no, sounds about right.
All right, well, let's see what this other candidate. All right, we were talking about Song of the Year, and that's how I brought up this whole discussion anyway.
What is the Song of the Year? That's fascinating.
I was going to ask you that, but this is what they have. BET Awards nominees for Song of the Year. Pooh Shiesty, Back in Blood, featuring Lil Durk. Roddy Ricch, Late at Night. Drake's Laugh Now, Cry Later, Lil Durk. Cardi B's Up, Cardi B WAP featuring Megan Thee Stallion. And B.I.'s Whole Lot of Money remix featuring Nicki Minaj.
I just love the streets too much. Ain't none of them making my list.
I don't, yeah, man. What did we say Song of the Year was last year? I have to go look in the yearbook real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, what Song of the Year last year?
Grab a yearbook. Hold on.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I just pulled it down. Man, the featured appearances last year were really good too, man. Method Man on Lemon, you had that at number one. Got Benny the Butcher on George Bondo, Armani Caesar, Lil C's, Stove God Cook.
Yeah, so
yeah, man. Last year was really, really action packed, but I don't know. What.
Mike, Jesus Crisis.
Mike. The Terminator says Nas, nobody. I'm with that.
Mike, I was thinking nobody. But Mike, Jesus Crisis, Scotty Beam, George Bondo, Running.
Yeah,
I love Running.
Andre Shashir says, yeah, Jesus Crisis. He was answering it for us. What up, Andre? Daryl Baxter says, My Life, J. Cole featuring 21 Savage. Death Row East, Nas. I think Nas might have some Song of the Years in there. Lumberjack, Tyler the Creator. I like that too.
I like Lumberjack too. I like that choice. Mike, I can't even lie. It's like Death Row East. That's one of those GOAT records, Mike. I don't know if it's the best record on King's Disease 2, but it's a GOAT record because can't nobody do that but Nas. And here's what I mean about him being the greatest storyteller ever to me. You can nod your head to that shit. It's like, what kind of bag he done got in where he can tell you a story like that and get you to bob to it?
He said that in the Ebro interview. You saw that, right? He said that in the Ebro interview. Yeah.
And he said that was the first track they recorded. He was like, he was two-stepping to it. I was like, I was two-stepping to it. I was like, I thought it was just me tripping off of that. Like, no, because it slaps like that. Mike, when I was going to Florida, for the wedding when I was on the boat. That's what me and Saya was nodding to. High off life, drunk off dark liquor, shit getting eerie. Like I threw on Thriller, bitch, I'm a hard hitter. Rolex clocks and killers, all out of order. I'm praying God forgive us. I had runners and should. Niggas would have been should. That shit slaps.
Andre Shashir says, my favorite is My Bible or The Store Run. Moments. There's another one on there, too.
Store Run is the best song on King's Disease 2. And so if it's gonna be, Store Run's better than Nobody and Death Row East as a whole. I just don't know if they slap like it. The Store Run's better. Like, just that would be the song that you would put on his greatest hits from this album if you were only going to take one. That would be the one that you would take. What's the Nas record you taking off KD2? Taking Store Run. You know? But the reality of the matter is though, Mike, the intro, the pressure, Death Row East, Moments, Nobody, Store Run, My Bible, Count Me In, those are all...
Album of the year. Well,
it's a classic, Mark. Yeah, it's a classic. It's the album of the year.
So BET Awards, their album of the year nominees is Moneybagg Yo's A Gangsta's Pain, Tyler the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost, Migos, Culture 3, Megan Thee Stallion's Good News, DJ Khaled, 21 Savage, Metro, Savage Mode 2, and J. Cole's Off Season. That's interesting because
they're all over the place.
I feel like Nas came out. When did Culture 3 come out? I feel like that came out just a couple of months ago. Like, Nas came out after that, but it wasn't that much longer after that.
It's very problematic. I don't trust these guys.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they got albums all over the place on this. I need to know when their cutoff date is.
Are white people running BET, Mike? White people still running BET?
Yeah, they always have been.
Just ask questions. I just want people to be informed. White people still running BET, right? Okay.
Yeah. I think Nas's KD2 is probably ahead of all of those albums. I will give Tyler that courtesy. I think that he's in the discussion of album of the year. But yeah, so what? We're looking at lyricist of the year. You got Nas, AZ, Conway, J. Cole so far.
Yeah.
I said Skyzoo over J. Cole, but you know, semantics. Artist of the year, we got
like Cole had more highlight performances than Skyzoo, even though Skyzoo was more consistent beginning to end. When Cole showed out, he did show out. Pride is the Devil.
Yeah.
The off-season freestyle, like stuff like that, like he's fast.
Okay. Yeah, and he did have that freestyle on LA Leakers too.
Yeah.
All right, 2021's Artist of the Year, we got Kanye West, Tyler the Creator, Nas, Isaiah Rashad so far.
It's about the only thing that they came close to getting right, it appears.
No, that's what we did.
Oh, that's what we did.
Yeah.
Well, they still don't know shit. Okay, it's back to what we thought. It's back to what we thought. They are who we thought they were.
Speaking of which, man, you said you brought up this topic earlier, man, about the Roots.
Shit.
You said you were listening to the Roots, and you felt like the Roots would be a real problem in a versus.
So, Mike, let's have a quick conversation.
Go ahead. I want you to have the floor on this one.
Who are the greatest rap groups of all time? I'm going to list some of them off right quick, and I just want to make sure it matches up. I can run a quick 10 down. Wu-Tang Clan?
Yes.
Right? Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
Outkast? Right? De La Soul?
Yep.
Tribe Called Quest?
Yep.
Mobb Deep?
Yeah, I wasn't going to go Public Enemy, but...
Public Enemy?
Yeah.
NWA?
Yeah.
Is NWA making the list? Straight out of Compton niggas for life, they making this list, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, top 10, right? So where would you go after that?
I mean, you got UGK?
I was thinking UGK, but Mike, I always told you I was always more of an 8-Ball and MJG fan.
Were you?
That's crazy because I like Bun and Pimp more than I like 8-Ball and MJG, but for some reason I wrote the 8-Ball and MJG more.
Why do you put 8-Ball and MJG ahead of UGK? I mean, I'm just asking because it's close.
I'm just telling you, I've just listened to them more than I've listened to UGK. I even consider Riding Dirty to be better than On Top of the World, or, if we're comparing like Star Masterpiece Works. So, I mean, we can say UGK. Hold on.
I'm totally opposite because I listen to UGK more than 8-Ball and MJG, but I think Coming Out Hard is better than anything UGK ever made.
Coming Out Hard is not better than Riding Dirty.
Coming Out Hard is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Armed robbery.
It's ridiculous. I'm rolling with Coming Out Hard over Riding Dirty every day.
Some Memphis ass, just gangster.
Groundbreaking, man. Like
what?
Everything you hear out of Memphis.
Don't go there.
MJG's whole style, like everything you hear out of Memphis comes from MJG from Coming Out Hard. And then you got Mr. Biggs on there. You know what I'm saying?
Memphis whole rap style is based on how they sound on that album.
Mm-hmm. But you know how big of a Memphis hip hop fan I am, so yeah.
You epic with it, Mike. Mike, I want you to understand. I have family. There are Coopers from the Mound, and you're more heavy off in game than I am. I got fam from there. I got cut from there. Right.
All right. So you mentioned Tribe, right? You said Tribe.
So hold on. So how many groups did we list? Wu-Tang,
I think we just named 8 groups or so.
8. And
where do you think Fugees and Goody Mob fit in these group discussions? It's unfortunate, man. We don't really have groups in hip hop like that anymore.
I think they don't totally fit in the top 10, but they would be in the next sector. What
do you think about Lil Brother, Clips?
I would put Clips above everybody you just named.
You put Clips above Goody Mob.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that, but you know.
I mean, Mike, Lord Willin', Hell Hath No Fury, and Till the Casket Drops. That's 3 great albums. Goody Mob doesn't have 3 great albums. They have one epic monster masterpiece of a classic record that I will still play to this day. But so do the Clips with Hell Hath No Fury. And then they have Till the Casket Drops and Lord Willin'. So
the Terminator says, I love Tribe, but let's keep it 100. Phife is one of the weakest and horrible rappers ever.
Very disrespectful. Want to have you know.
The Locks is somebody that we didn't mention. The Locks.
Oh, the Locks. Yeah, we can throw the Locks in there.
All right. You know, it's funny. I was kind of having this Phife discussion today, actually. And the reason why I was having this Phife discussion is because of all the big boy disrespect out here. And people act like Andre, because even in the Common Freestyle, he started naming a whole bunch of people that the dope MCs. And he mentioned Andre 3000. I'm like, why do you not just say Dre and Big Boy or Outkast? Because people act like Andre existed on these songs alone. And like Big Boy wasn't there killing the shit too. Like, I hate to say this. And, God bless the dead. But if people were acting like that about Tribe, I get it. I don't agree. But I get it, because at least there was a lot of times where Q-Tip was holding shit down himself. There was never a time when Dre was holding shit down himself. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. And I could see if people said this about Tretch, you know what I mean? Like, no disrespect to Vinny, but OPP is a Tretch song.
It is.
It is. You know what I'm saying? So, but when people start singling 3,000 out, it's disrespect.
So it's Feel Me Flow. Yeah, Feel Me Flow is Tretch's song.
Yeah. It is. It is. And Vinny would say the same thing. But people sit there and act like that's the reality with Cass. Like, none of these Cass songs work without Big Boy's input. And for people to single out Dre is wild to me, man. And Mike, even people of that generation. Like, it's crazy.
Mike, is it fair to do a top 10 group list without having Run DMC in the top 10? I don't think that's fair.
No, it's not fair. No, you gotta have Run DMC.
So Run DMC has to be in there because they're too important to the culture. And
their songs are important too. You know, if Run DMC.
No, Mike. They got bangers, Mike. Like My Adidas, Walk This Way.
I mean, come on, man. Run's House. They got
Run's House. That's my favorite. That's what I was. Who's high?
They got a lot, man. They got Suck MCs. Suck MCs, like, yeah.
Suck MCs.
Yeah. King of Rock. Yeah, they got epic Suck records. MCs.
Hey, Mike. One of Pete Rock's best beats again, Down with the Kings.
Oh, yeah. He came through on that, too.
He came through for the Kings.
Yeah.
So, Mike, here's what I would tell you. When I went through the Roots catalog, I think they give everybody a problem except for Wu-Tang Clan, and that was what my takeaway was. And so I want to talk about it because I got about 20 Roots records sitting right here. And part of what made me think about this is because, Mike, I told you, like, on my all-time list, I have Black Thought.
Sorry, Daryl Baxter said EPMD, Gangstar.
Gangstar before EPMD. EPMD gonna be in the next 10. Gangstar. I'll put Gangstar ahead of the Clips too.
If we're counting Gangstar as a group, are we counting Eric B and Rakim as a group?
It's not fair to everybody else.
I'm just saying.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Okay, go ahead. Finish your sentence. I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention some of the people that people were talking about in the chat. So you said you got 20 Roots songs.
Yeah. And so I want to highlight something. The same thing that makes Kiss a problem. I got Kiss and Thought right next to each other, damn near on my all-time list. And that's what made me think about this, because I was like, for what Kiss just did, I don't think the Roots catalog has been getting enough respect for what Thought's done within the framework of the Roots catalog. And I immediately said to myself, well, for his contemporary groups he's been compared to, which is Outkast, Tribe, and De La, they don't want it with Thought live with these records that I got written down. He's a problem for these guys. Like, Pasudnos is probably the closest to him in terms of, like, vicious capability. But Thought's just a different animal than Q-Tip and Andre and even Big Boy and True Boy. Like he just is. And there are enough classic Roots records. Like, Mike, I got a playlist right now. I'm telling you that because of who Thought is, much in the same vein of who Kiss is, you think because that Tribe, De La, or Outkast record is more classic, that it's about to go live when you got Thought in front of you, and it's not gonna go that way because that's Thought.
It's very different though, and somebody mentioned PE, and of course we name PE. I think it's very different when you got one MC in the group, and it's a group, as opposed to, and so that's why I think it might be fair to mention the Eric B's and Rakims when we're talking about the Roots, right? Or the Gangstars when we're talking about the Roots, because we're talking about one MC.
It's Rakim. The Roots aren't one MC. Malik B, especially Malik
rest
B.
In peace, yes.
Yeah, rest in peace, Malik B. Malik B is definitely a co-star partner on Organics. Do You Want More? Illadelph Half-Life. It's not till things fall apart that you see him fall back. So, and let's keep in mind, Dice Raw was pretty much there from Illadelph on too. So Thought wasn't alone within the group. He was definitely the show though. Mike, here's what I'm saying. What these dudes gonna do when Thought come on, and the first track they drop is Rock You off Phrenology. What y'all gonna do with Thought? Tip ain't got.
Who you talking about? Tribe,
Outkast, or De La?
Listen, man, I think
who got something for Thought on Rock You? When they start off the verses with Thought on Rock You, he gonna set a tone. It's gonna be a problem.
Well, I would if I'm Tribe.
Come on, there, rappers. Let's play. The shit I'm about to say about to hit y'all niggas in a very.
If I'm Tribe, I'm starting it off with Excursions.
It's not gonna cut it against Thought. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Mike,
back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had the pager, you could find the abstract. Listening to hip hop. My pops used to say it reminded him of bebop. I said, but Daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles? Wait, that Bobby Brown is just amping like Michael. And then the beat comes in. Come on, man. That's the opener.
Mike, how about this? If he were to do that, I would just play Thought's verse on Adrenaline, and there's that. That's what I'm saying. Thought got something for him. Play Thought's verse on Adrenaline. Thought's verse on Adrenaline going harder than that. He going harder than that. Thought's verse on 100% Dundee. Thought's verse on Rock You. Thought's verse on Concerto of the Desperado.
I think the production for Tribe is just so powerful. Daryl's in here mentioning Bugging Out, mentioning Check the Rhyme.
Beyond the Roots production though, Mike.
God Lives Through, Award Tour, Excursions, Scenario, Suck a Nigga.
Mike, it's not enough.
Oh, I disagree. Scenario remix. Butter. We got the jazz. These are the people in the chat saying this. I'm not saying this.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Y'all are talking about the songs. I'm talking about how it's going to play live when the MC got to spit it's not gonna hold up as well against.
I don't know, bro.
Q-Tip, it's not.
Q-Tip's one of the better performers to ever do this,
Mike,
for real.
Mike, I know you bought. Mike, I know you, and that's why I bought this up, Mike. You remember Ital off Philadelphia Half-Life with Q-Tip and Black Thought going back and forth? It's not a conversation, Mike. He don't want to get embarrassed.
But when we're talking about live performer, man, look, I want to see it.
Mike, the only
Tribe
person,
guy hits. Andre Shashir.
The only person live that matches Thought's intensity and consistency is KRS-One. Let's not get this confused about who you're talking about.
Wow, we're getting really up there, man. They're saying you're tripping in here, man. LP says
no, Mike, respond, react, adrenaline, push up your lighter, clones, hypnotic, Ital, next movement, double trouble, act 2, the love of my life, 100% Dundee, you got me, break you off, water, proceed, stay cool, duck down. Mike, what they gonna do when Thought do boom and he do the Cool G rap Kane impersonation and do his shit? What they gonna do? That's what I'm talking about.
They're gonna have a whole crowd with them when they do Electric Relaxation, the lyrics to go.
Mike, we're talking about somebody that can impersonate Cool G rap and Big Daddy Kane in the same song. Q-Tip don't want nothing with that. 3 Stacks don't want nothing with that. What they gonna do when Thought do that live? That's what I mean. Like some of that shit gonna hit different live.
With the,
Thought
you know what?
Impersonating Kane live. Gonna do something.
And I love Cass. I love Cass. I may agree with you on the Cass thing, but with the Tribe thing, I disagree wholeheartedly, man. Tribe shit comes through the speakers different.
Mike, it's not gonna go the way you think because Q-Tip and Fife can't stand next to Thought as a MC the same way those dudes couldn't stand next to Kiss. It's gonna separate it.
No. Off
the same caliber.
I'm telling you. Q-Tip is, I'm telling you, Cameron is no Q-Tip. Cameron's no Q-Tip.
Is Kiss better than Thought?
Is Kiss better than Thought? I think that Kiss has more powerful songs to choose from than Thought. Yes.
That ain't what I asked you.
I'm just saying.
Kiss is better than Thought.
As a live performer, what Kiss did
as a live performer, Mike. The Roots are one of the best live performances in the history of rap, and most of that is Thought live.
So you think? Hold on, let's just go ahead and take this to the context that you're taking.
Right, Mike?
I have.
Mike, so you've seen those 7-minute freestyle riffs?
No,
like, with
I feel you.
No breath control.
In a versus, you're not gonna get that 7 minutes. Let me ask you this.
Right, you gonna get that "Who Shot You" time that Kiss got. What they gonna do when he drop that "Making Up a Murderer" verse? The same way Kiss dropped that "Who Shot You" verse. What they gonna do when Thought drop that "Making Up a Murderer" verse?
Do you think?
They don't want no smoke.
Let me ask you this. And I guess I know the answer to this.
A lot of happy records. I love those guys. A lot of happy records. I don't want no smoke with Thought.
Do you think that the Roots would have won that night if they were going against the Locks in Madison Square Garden?
Ooh, you want to know what? That's a great question because here's what I know. Thought is such a great MC. Pressure on. Thought can go off subject and off top and fuck with Kiss. And go live, as in, oh, you want to talk that shit? Let's talk this live freestyle shit. Let's go, Kiss.
The Terminator says Kiss would beat Thought. Ken says, don't underestimate Q-Tip. He is a very good performer.
Not Thought. Cool. He's not Thought.
I'm sorry, man. I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Go listen to Ital with them two rapping back and forth.
Is it live?
Philadelphia Half-Life. When Q-Tip is at his peak and Thought is still ascending and Thought is still clearly better, Q-Tip will tell you that Thought is better.
He might be the better MC, but I mean, I don't think they have the stronger songs.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't have the stronger songs.
Mike,
they don't, man. They don't have
But what I'm trying to tell you is that the records are close enough, and he's the strongest MC. He's clearly.
I think the music is too strong. LP says the music is too strong on Tribe's side, even if he performs better. Like it
ain't gonna slap like you think, man.
Are you sure? I mean,
award tour against Thought, Mike, not live.
Let's clear all this out. What are the Roots gonna play when Tribe plays award tour?
Nobody has nothing for award tour, Mike. They're winning that against everybody.
What are they gonna play when Tribe plays Electric Relaxation?
No, Mike, they can play "You Got Me" and beat Electric Relaxation.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
You got me. You got me is not better than Electric Relaxation. Yes, it is. Electric Relaxation is not better than You Got Me.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. What do you guys think in the chat?
Electric Relaxation is not better than You Got Me. It's not. Thought's brilliant on that record. That's a beautiful record, Mike. It's not
Michael
bad.
Sanders says, "Coop, you tripping, bro."
I'm not tripping. I'm just
He
telling you
is
what I
tripping.
heard. I'm just telling you what I heard. Like, I'm telling you the way the shit go through the speakers, it's not gonna go the way y'all think. Thought's
Better
a
than
problem.
electric relax. You think you got me is better than electric relaxation.
Mike, when I listened to, she said she loved my show at Paris at Elise Mama, and then I stepped off the stage and took a piece of her heart. We knew from the start that things fall apart. They tend to shatter. She like, that shit don't matter when I get home. Get at her through letter, phone, whatever. Let's click. Let's get together. Shit, you think not? Think the thought went home and forgot. Time passed. She back in Philly. Now she up in my spot. No, they not fucking with that.
That's very poetic, but no one in the chat agrees
Now
with
that I
you.
spit it out live, bust on your couch. Now you got Siemens furniture.
Shaheed Fife in the extra P. Come on, man.
Mike, I'm just telling you, Mike.
They
you
know
don't
the
wanna-
abstracts merely
Mike,
soul on
Mike,
ice.
Mike,
The
Mike,
character is
stop
of
for a
men and
second.
never
Stop,
ever of mice.
stop.
Shorty, let me
That's
tell you
what
about
I'm
my
saying,
only
Mike.
vice that has to do with
Mike.
lots of loving and there ain't nothing nice. Come
Let me
on.
tell you about my only vice. It got to do with lots of loving and it ain't that nice. No, Mike, that's dope. That's not gonna hold up against somebody like Thought. That's what I'm telling you about those records.
Everyone
Because
in the
when
chat says that, electric
Mike, I put
relaxation is the
I
better
put money on it, Mike. I put money on Thought. Like, yeah, like it's there, Mike. Break you off, hypnotic, water, proceed, stay cool, duck down. He's got stuff everywhere. He's more versatile than all those guys too. That's what I'm saying. He can
But
hit them
what
in more ways
songs
than
are
they can
more
hit him.
known?
No, Mike, the songs being more known don't matter. The locks just prove that.
But that was
Dipset had more
against
known songs.
that was against
Cam had more known
Dipset.
songs.
That was
The
against
Cam-
Dipset.
The Cam and not Dipset have more known songs.
But
And
they're
got
not good
Wasp.
performers.
Mike,
We're not gonna sit here and
Cam has
act
more known
like
songs than Kiss. What happened?
listen, we're not gonna
No.
act like Q-Tip
Mike,
is
no, answer my question. Who got more known songs, Fab or Kiss? How'd that go? Who got more known songs, Dipset or Locks? How'd that go? Them
No,
known
I feel
songs
you.
don't matter.
But we're talking about two
When you
different
got
degrees
a-
of performance,
and,
man.
And so what Kiss showed through the verses, and then I'm trying to explain to y'all, is that when you got that top notch level MC, that changes everything.
But you're
changes
disrespecting Q-Tip right now, man.
Hold
You
on,
acting
Mike.
like Q-Tip
Hold on,
ain't no
Mike.
top-notch performer, man. Like
He's not a top 20
Q-Tip's one of
MC,
those
Mike.
people.
He's not a top 20 MC. Mike Thought's never been outside the top 20 since '96. Stop
I
that.
think Q-Tip's a top 20 performer easily, and I
MC.
think Tribe has
MC.
no MC performing. Yes, when you got the songs and
Not
you're a
Thought.
performer, because a
he's not
lot of the
touching
stuff
the
you're
ball.
talking about. Hold on, Coop. A lot of the stuff you're talking about, the Dipset and Fab didn't do is because they're terrible performers.
And Mike.
Everyone
here's
says
what-
you're bugging in here, by the way. I'll
And
go
here's
through
what
the
I'm trying-
comments.
Mike, if you think I left my wallet in El Segundo and Bonita Applebum is gonna beat Thought live, y'all not respecting Thought. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. But you keep on thinking that, like, all
Bonita
that stuff.
placed in the
Listen.
right area, yeah, definitely.
No, Mike, not against the next movement or something like that. Thought's just too much of a problem.
What? You talking about the next movement over Bonita? You're
I'm
biased,
talking
man.
about how
You're
I'm
being
talking about
real
how
biased
Thought's
right
gonna sound
now.
live. I'm talking about how Thought's gonna sound live. Y'all just going off the strength of the record. Y'all not thinking about the artist. Y'all not thinking about the live showmanship and performance like Kiss just showed you. Kiss just showed y'all that the songs don't matter. The MC matters more.
You're being disrespectful.
Mike,
You're
Mike,
being
we just
disrespectful.
said- no,
You're
Mike, we
acting
just
like
had a whole
Dipset
show.
records
Mike,
are on the
Mike.
level of Tribe records. You're acting like the Q-Tip as a terrible performer like Cam and them are. And that's not the case.
He's not terrible, Mike, but he's not thought on any level. He's not the MC or the performer, even though he's great.
Is. He's an incredible performer.
Mike,
I
when
think
the
you
last
need to
time-
go
Mike,
back
okay,
and look
so
at
Mike,
Q-Tip
Mike,
perform,
you want to
man.
know what? We just gonna call a spade right quick. When the last time Q-Tip been on tour, like live and really performed for you to even be saying that? Because we can speak the thought right now. You can't even speak to what you're really talking about.
Well, I think the last time that I saw Q-Tip perform was when they put out the final album. That was just a couple
When
of
was
years
that?
ago.
When was that?
That
Around
was,
the time Kendrick was dropping Damn?
yeah.
Oh, so Q-Tip's live performances from that far ago count, but Kendrick's don't count. Mike, you sound like a hypocrite.
Kendrick's
That's
in
what
his
I'm saying.
prime,
You're talking
man.
about Q-Tip as a live performer. When the last time Q-Tip performed live steadily? Thought would crush him live. Oh, y'all crazy.
I want to
Run
see
through
this
that.
now. I really want to see this now.
Untell that, Mike. When the last time Q-Tip performed live for you to be talking this way? Thought stay busy.
Well, yeah.
You crazy.
Thoughts on the Tonight Show every night with Jimmy Fallon.
Hello, and you think
Bebopping
Q-Tip
and stuff.
and you think Q-Tip and Fife about to step out and give them some action from their best records in 91, 93, and 96. Okay, Mike.
Well, Fife's
okay.
not walking out to anything
I'm gonna tell you what,
respectfully.
Mike.
But
Mike,
Q-Tip will be able to hold it down.
Mike,
Fife, rest in peace,
that
Fife.
making of a murderer verse, and the crowd goes silent, and they realize that all that happy shit's not about to play tonight. The same way Kiss did. That Who Shot You verse was a message that this is about MCing. So give me thought in the roots if it's close.
Joe Bro says, first off, it's not even fair because Fife isn't here to perform. But you know what? They were separated for a minute. And you know, Q-Tip was able to hold down the group. You know,
no, Malik B's not there either. Malik B's not there either, so don't say that about
No. It's fine because, like I said, I've seen Q-Tip perform Tribe records in his set anyway. So, you know, it's not a thing. I think Q-Tip would go out there and smoke the Roots, to be perfectly honest with you.
Mike, but you're a fan. Q-Tip's your favorite artist, so.
But you're a fan too, clearly. You're clearly a Roots fan because no one here agrees.
Mike, I'm not the Black Thought fan that you are the Q-Tip fan, no sir. Because my biggest critique about Thought is his solo catalog or lack thereof and how he needs a classic solo project independent of the Roots. So I'm not on Thought the way that you're on Tip. I just know what I heard, Mike, and I know the caliber MC he is and the verses that I heard live against some of that stuff that you're talking about, they going to snatch some of those victories away that you think are victories. It's going to play closer than you think, Mike.
All right, let me ask the people in the room. Just put Roots.
I'm not even necessarily
Tribe.
saying that they would win. I'm just saying it's closer than y'all thinking. It's an even match.
I gotcha.
Thought. What I'm saying is Thought is what makes it even. Like Outkast, Daylight, and Tribe have the better records. Thought the MC makes it even.
I think that, and I love Daylight. I think that might be a problem for Daylight.
I'm for Outkast too, Mike.
I think it could be. But I think Tribe, I think Q-Tip has a real good hold on their catalog, knows how to present it. He's a DJ. He has that advantage too, and he's a really good performer.
He has a DJ advantage, and I'll give you that. But what I'm saying is that a lot of that stuff is going to get punished by Thought's delivery. Live. Like, how about this?
I think Tribe's songs are just too strong, man.
Some of them are. No, some of them are, Mike. They're going to win 7 or 8 of these just off the strength of the record. Like, Mike, it's going to be hard to beat some of those records. Like, the Roots not going to beat Who Got the Jazz. The Roots style is based on Who Got the Jazz. They're not going to beat them on that record, but that don't mean they can't beat them, Mike. And what I'm saying is like some of those records that you think may play well, like Tribe's going to have to play their full catalog against the Roots, which means they're going to have to play like Stressed Out. And once again, they're not going to win those, Mike. They're not going to win everything.
No, I give you that.
Yeah, they're not going to win everything. That's all I'm saying. It's like people acting like it's not comp. No, it's comp. I could see the Roots. Like I could see Tribe and Roots doing a verses and it being a wash. Mike, remember Double Trouble?
Mm-hmm.
The most?
Yeah. No, the Roots got a catalog. And I would like.
Hold on, and here's what I want to say also too about the Roots potentially in the verses, and I want to bring this up. Oh, Mike, if they bring out their guest appearance artists, like almost
Jill
all
Scott.
like Jill Scott, like Eve.
Yeah.
Like Most Def, like Common.
Eve didn't even show up to her own verses, so she's not showing up.
It's very shady and very accurate.
It's
but you
true.
get what I'm saying? Like, there's different ways for the Roots, even as a live band, to bring out the guest artists too. The Tribe ain't got guest artists like that outside of Scenario, Mike.
No, you're right. You're right.
Right. What they gonna do when Most Def pop up and do Double Trouble with Black Thought? That's a whole problem, Mike.
That'd be dope.
Mike. They gotta play a award tour after that, because if not, that's an L. Black Thought
you gotta do
Double Trouble's an L, Mike. That's an L for Tribe. What Tribe record you got when most come out and do Double Trouble with Thought, Mike? They gotta play a award tour. They gotta go to the top of what they got for that.
I mean, I think Tribe has a whole bunch of home runs, man. You got Scenario Remix.
Mike, like I told you, you want to know what? And that's why I brought up Adrenaline, Mike. It's like, is Scenario gonna beat Adrenaline? Yeah, probably, but don't sleep on adrenaline. Don't sleep on adrenaline.
Man. I think, you know, and I've said this before, I think that Tribe's catalog has aged even better than Outkast's, and that's saying a lot. I think Tribe has some of the biggest home runs of any group that's ever done it in hip hop. Like their hits are hits. Where Tribe falls short, if you want to say they fall short, are their album cuts. But their
Mike,
their
that's what I'm
hits
trying to tell you.
are
So
their
Mike,
hits.
so if you go through their peak, which is really the first 3 albums, Mike, like let's say you were to take the 2 to 3 singles off those records, they might win all of those, and then they might lose everything else, and that would make it even because that's only about 7 to 9 records. That's what I'm saying. Like the stuff that they're gonna win, they gonna win. But that stuff after that, Mike, they not beating the Roots like you think. Some of this stuff is classic, Mike. You remember Clones, Mike? What about What They Do?
You know, Terminator brought up a good point too. He said Q-Tip has a solid solo career also. So those don't count?
We doing Roots and Tribe, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. You know.
I mean, we can bring up Thought Solo stuff because Thought Solo freestyles is about to murder like everything.
Because I was gonna say those freestyles you speak about aren't really Roots records. So.
Right. So Mike, that's what I'm saying. It's like don't bring Thought's freestyle into this because they're gonna get embarrassed. Like everybody.
No.
Mike, you seen what happened to Method Man? Stop that.
No, I agree. Method Man got embarrassed that day.
Q-Tip not Method Man, Mike. Stop that.
No, but we're not talking about MCing. If we were talking about
going live, we're talking about going live.
We're talking about going live with songs.
Mike.
Nah,
live
man.
with those freestyles. You seen what Kiss did with the Who Shot shit? Like, how about this, Mike?
Oh, LP says Midnight Marauders alone got like 9 wins. Listen,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's what I'm telling you.
Come on, man. Midnight Marauders is crazy.
Why are y'all acting like there's not classic stuff on Illadelph Half-Life and Do You Want More and The Tipping Point and Phrenology? Why are y'all acting
in the words of the great Kanye West, it ain't Tribe level though. It ain't Tribe level though. It
Mike,
ain't.
Some of these records are Tribe level. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes,
oh,
it is.
Man, yeah, they said Method Man was reading off his phone. Damn, man. As a person who's a diehard Method Man fan from childhood up, man, that hurt.
Like, Mike, if y'all listen to Thought on 100% Dundee, like, y'all know how that's going to come through live? Like, it's not going to play well for whoever's on the other side of Thought. The same way it didn't play for who was on the other side of Kiss. When you got that special caliber MC, it hits different, Mike. That's
Midnight Marauders, man. We got award tour. We got 8 Million Stories. You got Midnight. You got Electric Relaxation, Clapping Hands. Oh my God, The Chase Part 2, Lyrics to Go, God Lives Through. It's a lot, man, and that's just one.
The only ones that I heard that were definite victories were Oh My God and Award Tour.
Not God Lives Through. Busta Rhymes said when he hears that, man, he breaks out in tears, man.
What about Water off Phrenology where they're talking about Malik B's drug addiction live on record? That's what I'm saying. Do y'all even really know the Roots catalog like that?
I mean, those are dope records, man, but it's
Mike,
different.
do you know about Water, though? Do you know about how they made Water live because they hadn't seen him in a few days and he came into the studio and they made it live, like, to address his addiction live? Like, that's how they dealt with it. Do you know that?
I didn't know.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like y'all don't even know the Roots catalog like that is really what y'all telling me, and y'all need to go listen. It's easy to know Tribe catalog. Like, y'all don't know the Roots catalog. That's why y'all saying this. Like, these records that I'm naming, y'all probably don't even know these records in and out the way you know the Tribe record. But if you'll go listen to those records and go listen to Thought and go listen to how good these records sound coming through the speakers, you'll feel why I feel this way. Like, Mike, when Respond React came on today for me, I was like, woo. I was like, that's a problem live. That's a problem live when Thought got that energy going like that.
Joe Bro says you got a Tribe album hanging on in the background.
Alphabetical order. It was sort of pathetic. Yo, I'm living yeah, man, he crazy, man. Like, y'all need to go listen to the Roots catalog again.
Joe Bro says you got a Tribe album hanging in the background. I see it. It's Low End Theory too. Yo, let's get up out of here, man. It's been a great show.
Mike, it's my favorite Tribe album. It's one of the best rap albums ever made. The Roots' whole style is based on that album.
It is.
And I still said what I said. Next. Like I
All
said
right,
what I
well,
said.
who's coming out next week? So, well, you know what? We probably going to, you want to do another show on Wednesday and kind of cover some of the holes and all that? But you know what? Hold on. What day is the versus? The versus
Oh
is
yeah,
supposed to
with Ja
be
Rule.
Tuesday. So yeah, maybe we could do a follow up on this versus on Wednesday or something. Go on live and do that.
We can do a little recap. I'm not
We can do
opposed
like a
to
little
that.
recap of the Fat Joe and Ja Rule versus. I know y'all ain't super hype about it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I feel like this is one of those filler verses, right? Where this is a warm up for the next big one. And I know Memphis Bleak is trying to get this Jay-Z and Nas thing stirred up because obviously they want to do that because everybody's been wanting that from the beginning. But for Memphis to say what he said, how he said it, lets you know they're trying to get Nas revved up.
Mike, I told you, just off the strength of King's Disease and King's Disease 2, he don't want that smoke, Mike. What he gonna do when he drop Death Row East?
The Terminator said, y'all did my man Common dirty. I'm not happy. What were we supposed to do?
We gave him 3.5. We gave him 3.5.
We gave Common's album 3.5, even though it sounded very insincere. Did you think the album was sincere? Did you hear the freestyle that he did on LA Leakers? Where's that intensity on the
everything
album?
on the album. The freestyle's better than everything on the album.
The freestyle's better than everything on the album. You know what? I knew that freestyle was written, so I was looking for it on the album. It wasn't
no
there.
dice.
It wasn't there. All right, but yeah, let's get up on Wednesday and we're gonna recap that versus, and I guess we should know by the middle of the week what's coming out next week.
Who you got?
I got Ja Rule.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Ja Rule. You taking Joey Crack? Okay, I got Ja
I'm
Rule.
digging in the crates, guy. Showbiz, AG, Buckwild, Big L.
You think he's gonna play that?
I hope so.
Andre Shashir wants to know what we gave the AZ album. We gave AZ 4.5, and we gave Common's album 3.5.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we will holler at y'all Wednesday. Appreciate y'all coming through, checking in with us, and just know that A Tribe Called Quest would beat the Roots in the verses. Hopefully we can make that happen, and hopefully we can make this damn Jigga and Nas thing happen too, because
you don't want that smoke. I had run-ins with Suge. Niggas would have been Suge. At the height of the beef, they started